Jake Morrison walked through the tall metal doors of the Galactic Council building. His black boots made soft sounds on the smooth floor. The ceiling was so high he could barely see it. Bright lights hung down like stars. Around him, hundreds of alien beings moved in groups, talking in their strange voices. Jake had been Earth's main speaker to the galaxy for 10 years. He knew this place well. But today felt different. Today he was angry. He stopped at the big round room where all the important aliens met. The room was huge. Seats went up and up in circles like a giant bowl. Each seat held a different kind of alien. Some had green skin, some had 4 arms. Others looked like walking trees or floating clouds of gas. In the center sat the High Council. These were the oldest and most powerful aliens in the galaxy. They made all the big decisions. For 50 years they had told humans what to do. Jake took his place at the human section. It was smaller than the others. Only 20 seats for all of Earth's people. The Zephyrians had 200 seats. The Velothi had 300. Even the tiny Grex had 50 seats. Lisa Hayes sat next to Jake. She was Earth's top military officer, in space. Her uniform was clean and pressed. Her face was hard like stone. She had been fighting alien pirates for 15 years while the council talked and talked. "Are you ready for this?" Lisa asked quietly. Jake nodded. His hands were steady, but his heart was beating fast. Today would change everything. The meeting started. The High Council leader was a Zephyrian named Crixtal. He looked like a giant purple octopus with too many eyes. His voice came out of a machine that made it sound like music. "Today we talk about human trade requests," Crixtal said. The words floated through the air to everyone's ears. Jake stood up. "The colonies need more trade rights. Our people are growing. We need to sell our goods to more worlds." A Velothi delegate made a sound like laughing. "Humans are too young, too wild. You fight too much. We cannot trust you with full trade rights." "But you trust us to protect your ships," Lisa said. Her voice was sharp. "When pirates attack your traders, who do you call? Humans. When your colonies are in danger, who saves them? Humans." The crystalline representative spoke next. His body was made of living glass that sparkled in the light. "Humans are good fighters, yes, but fighting is not trading. Trading needs calm minds, peaceful hearts. Humans have neither." Jake felt his anger grow. For 50 years, humans had served the galaxy. They fought wars the aliens were too scared to fight. They fixed machines the aliens could not understand. They solved problems the aliens thought were impossible. But when humans asked for something simple, the answer was always no. "We have asked for trade expansion 7 times, Jake said. 7 times you have said no. But you want us to keep protecting your worlds. You want us to keep fixing your problems." "That is different," said the Molten Empire's speaker. His body was made of living rock and fire. "Protection is what humans do best, but business is for older, wiser races." Lisa stood up fast. Her chair made a loud noise. "Wiser races. Your wise races start wars every few years. We have to stop you from killing each other. Your wise races build machines that break down every month. We have to fix them. Your wise races cannot stop a few pirates. We have to hunt them down." The room got quiet. Aliens looked at each other with their strange eyes. Some made worried sounds. Crixtal waved his tentacles. "Humans are useful, yes, but usefulness is not the same as wisdom. You serve the galaxy well as our helpers. Be happy with that." Jake felt something break inside him. Helpers. That was all they thought humans were. Not partners. Not equals. Just helpers. He looked around the room. He saw aliens who lived in safety because human soldiers died protecting them. He saw aliens who got rich because human engineers kept their factories running. He saw aliens who lived in peace because human diplomats stopped their wars, and they called humans helpers. "No," Jake said. The word came out loud and clear. The room went completely quiet. Even the air seemed to stop moving. "What did you say?" Crixtal asked. "I said no. Humanity is done being your helpers. We are done being your servants. We are done Protecting you while you treat us like children. Jake walked to the center of the room. His voice carried to every corner. For 50 years, humans have served this council. We have bled for you. We have died for you. We have built your future while you ignored our needs. An alien from the hegemony of Trill spoke up. You cannot just leave. The galaxy needs human protection. The galaxy needs human protection but does not want human equality, Jake replied. That ends today. Lisa joined him in the center. By the power given to me by Earth Command, I recall all human military forces from galactic service. The room exploded with noise. Aliens shouted in dozens of languages. Some stood up. Others fell back in their seats. Krixtal raised his tentacles. For quiet. You cannot do this. Think of your duty. Think of the greater good. Jake smiled, but it was not a happy smile. We did think of duty. For 50 years. Now we think of respect. And since you cannot give us respect, we will leave. He turned to face all the aliens. Humanity withdraws from the Galactic Council. Our ships will leave your space. Our people will leave your worlds. Our protection will end. This is madness, screamed a Vorthan delegate. Pirates will destroy everything. Then stop them yourselves, Lisa said. You are wise races, remember? Figure it out. Jake and Lisa walked toward the door. Other humans followed them. Their footsteps echoed in the silent room. At the door, Jake turned back. When you are ready to treat humans as equals instead of servants, call us. Until then, good luck. The door closed behind them with a soft sound that felt like thunder. Emma Brooks sat in the control room on Luna Base. Around her, dozens of screens showed human ships across the galaxy. Each green dot was a human vessel. Each blue dot was a human colony. Each red dot was a human military base. She had never seen so many dots moving at once. Operation Homecoming is go, she said into her microphone. Her voice traveled instantly across space to every human ship and station. The dots began to move. Slowly at first, then faster and faster, like a great wave. Pulling back from shore, humanity began leaving the galaxy. Tony Garcia stood on the bridge of his ship, the Freedom. Through the big window, he could see the mining world of Kepler 442. The planet was brown and gray, covered in huge machines that dug metals from the ground. Captain, we have 47 civilian ships ready to leave, said his second officer. Tony nodded. What about the mining stations? All humans are packed and ready. The alien workers are asking us to stay. Tony looked at the planet one more time. Humans had built those mining machines. Humans had programmed the computers that ran them. Humans had trained the alien workers how to use them. Tell the aliens they are on their own now, Tony said. Move the fleet out. The Freedom and 47 other ships jumped into hyperspace. Behind them, the mining world kept working. But not for long. Sam Parker was the chief engineer on Trill Station. The station was huge, bigger than a city. It provided power to the entire hegemony capital world below. Without the station, 20 billion aliens would have no electricity. Sam had worked here for 12 years. He knew every pipe, every wire, every computer. The alien engineers who worked with him were smart, but they only knew small parts of the system. Only Sam knew how it all worked together. Please stay, begged Gorth, his alien assistant. Gorth looked like a walking flower with too many petals. We cannot run the station without you. Sam finished packing his tools. You should have thought of that before treating humans like servants. But the power grid will fail. Our people will freeze in the dark. Sam stopped packing. For a moment, he felt sorry for Gorth. Then he remembered sitting in meetings where alien bosses called him the useful human instead of his name. I left complete instructions in the computer, Sam said. Everything you need to know is there. If you cannot figure it out, hire someone who can. Sam walked to the transport ship. Behind him, Gorth was already calling other engineers. Panic in his voice. Beth Morgan commanded the peacekeeping base between crystalline and molten space. For 30 years, Human soldiers had kept these two alien races from killing each other. The crystallines were made of living glass. The molten aliens were living rock and fire. They hated each other with a passion that burned like stars. "Colonel, we have incoming messages from both sides," her communications officer reported. "They want to know if we are really leaving." Beth looked at the tactical display. On one side, 100 crystalline warships waited in formation. On the other side, 80 molten battlecruisers held position. Only the human base between them kept them from attacking. "Tell them both the same thing," Beth said. "Human peacekeepers are going home. What happens next is up to them." She turned to her troops. "Pack everything. We leave in 6 hours." As the human ships prepared to depart, both alien fleets began moving closer to the border. Within hours of the humans leaving, the first shots would be fired in a war that would last for years. Rick Stone was an admiral in charge of the entire Outer Rim defense fleet. The Outer Rim was the wild edge of the galaxy, full of pirates, smugglers, and criminals. Human ships patrolled millions of cubic miles of space, keeping the trade routes safe. "Sir, we have over 300 ships to recall," his aide reported. Rick studied the star charts. Red markers showed where pirate bases hid, in empty space. Yellow markers showed merchant ships traveling between worlds. Blue markers showed his patrol ships keeping everything safe. "Begin the recall immediately," Rick ordered. "I want every human ship back in Earth space within 2 weeks." "What about the merchant protection contracts?" Rick thought about all the alien traders who had paid Earth for protection. They got safe passage through dangerous space. In return, they treated humans like hired security guards. "Cancel all contracts," Rick said. "Let them protect themselves." On the main screen, the blue markers began moving toward Earth. Behind them, the red pirate markers began moving toward the yellow merchant ships. Dr. Paula Scott worked at the research station orbiting the gas giant Xerion. The station studied new technologies and shared them with the galaxy. Most of the important discoveries came from human scientists, but alien governments took credit for the work. "Doctor, the transport ships are here," her assistant announced. Paula looked around her laboratory. 15 years of research sat in these rooms. Experiments that could change the galaxy. Technologies that could save lives. "Pack the important data," she told her team. "Leave the rest." An alien scientist named Zilk approached her. Zilk looked like a walking snake with arms. "You cannot take the research. It belongs to the galaxy." Paula laughed. "Belongs to the galaxy? Who did the work? Who made the discoveries?" "Humans. We are taking our work with us. But the other worlds need this technology. Then they should have treated us better," Paula replied. The human ships left the station with terabytes of research data. The aliens who remained found empty laboratories and locked computers they could not access. On Luna Base, Emma watched the last ships jump to hyperspace. Green dots disappeared from her screens one by one. After months of coordination, every human was coming home. "Ma'am, we are receiving thousands of messages from alien governments," her communications officer reported. "What do they want?" Emma asked. "They are begging us to reconsider. They are offering money, trade deals, anything we want." Emma thought about Jake Morrison's speech to the Galactic Council, about 50 years of being treated like servants, about being called helpers instead of partners. "Delete all messages," she ordered. "We are done listening to them." The last human ship jumped into hyperspace. For the first time in 50 years, humanity was alone again. Behind them, a galaxy that had grown fat and lazy on human protection began to realize what they had lost. The exodus was complete. Now the real test would begin. Alex Turner sat in Earth's Strategic Command Center, watching reports flood in from across the galaxy. 3 months had passed since the human exodus. The screens around him showed chaos spreading like fire through space. "General, we have another report from the Zephyrian trade routes," his aide announced. Alex read the intelligence summary. In the past week, 27 Zephyrian merchant ships had been destroyed. Some crashed into each other at busy space stations. Others got lost in hyperspace and never arrived at their destinations. 3 had been captured by pirates. Without our traffic control systems, they cannot coordinate their shipping, Alex said. Their entire trade empire is falling apart. The Zephyrians had built the largest trading network in the galaxy. Thousands of ships moved goods between millions of worlds every day. But the system only worked because human computers calculated the routes and human controllers guided the traffic. Now ships launched without proper navigation data. They arrived at stations that were already full. They carried goods that nobody had ordered to worlds that did not want them. Maria Gonzalez worked in Earth's intelligence division. Her job was monitoring alien communications. She sat in a dark room surrounded by screens showing intercepted messages from across the galaxy. "The panic is spreading faster than we expected," she told Alex over the communication link. "The Crystalline Confederacy and Molten Empire started fighting again yesterday." Alex pulled up the tactical display of that region. Red markers showed battle fleets moving toward each other. For 30 years, human peacekeepers had kept these two races from war. Now, nothing stood between them. "How bad is it?" Alex asked. "Bad. The Crystallines attacked 3 molten mining colonies. The Molten Empire responded by destroying a crystalline research station. Both sides are calling up their reserve fleets." Alex shook his head. The war would spread. Other races would take sides. Entire sectors of the galaxy would become battlefields. Steve, Collins commanded a long-range reconnaissance ship hidden in the outer rim. His mission was to observe and report without being detected. What he saw made his blood run cold. The outer rim had become a wasteland of violence. Pirate fleets that had once hidden from human patrols now attacked openly. They raided alien colonies, captured merchant ships, and enslaved entire populations. "Captain, we are receiving a distress call from Altair Station," his communications officer reported. Steve looked at the tactical display. Altair Station was a trading post that served dozens of worlds. 3 pirate ships were attacking it while 100 civilians tried to escape. "Are there any alien military ships in the area?" Steve asked. "No, sir. The nearest hegemony patrol ship is 6 hours away. In the old days, a human patrol ship would have been there in minutes. The pirates would have run or been destroyed. Now there was no help coming. "Log the attack and continue observing," Steve ordered. It hurt to watch innocent people die, but Earth's orders were clear. Humans were no longer the galaxy's police force. Linda Williams sat in the president's office on Earth, reading reports from human colonies across the galaxy. Every day brought news of alien governments begging for help. The hegemony of Trill faced complete collapse. Their power grids were failing without human engineers to maintain them. Their capital world had already suffered 3 major blackouts. Billions of aliens were living without electricity or heat. "Madam President, we have an urgent message from the Trill High Council," her secretary announced. Linda read the message. The Trill were offering to pay Earth 10 times the normal rate for emergency engineering support. They promised full human citizenship rights and equal representation on their ruling council. "Too little, too late," Linda said. She deleted the message without responding. Frank Martinez led a covert mission to observe the ancient Vorthan collective. The Vorthans were considered the most advanced race in the galaxy. Their technology was thousands of years ahead of everyone else, or so everyone thought. Frank's ship approached the Vorthan home system carefully. What he found shocked him. 3 of the 5 Vorthan core worlds were dark. No lights, no energy, signatures, no signs of life. "What happened here?" his pilot asked. Frank studied the sensor readings. "System failures, critical infrastructure collapse. The Vorthans built amazing technology, but they never learned to maintain it. They left that job to humans." The proud Vorthan collective, masters of advanced science, had been reduced to 2 functioning worlds because they could not fix their own machines. Paula Scott analyzed data at Earth's Strategic Planning Center. Numbers streamed across her screens showing the collapse of galactic civilization. Trade was down 60%. Industrial production had fallen by half. Unemployment was rising everywhere as factories shut down without human technical support. "The economic damage is worse than we predicted," she reported to the Strategic Council. "Entire sectors are shutting down. Some worlds are facing starvation. Because their food production systems have failed. The galaxy had grown dependent on human expertise in ways nobody had understood. Humans did not just provide protection and labor. They were the engineers, technicians, and problem solvers who kept everything running. Chris Baker prepared Earth's defenses as reports came in of desperate alien governments considering military action. Some alien leaders talked about forcing humans to return to their duties. They did not understand that humanity had spent 3 months preparing for exactly that possibility. "Admiral, our deep space sensors are detecting unusual fleet movements," his intelligence officer reported. Chris studied the tactical displays. Several alien races were moving warships toward human space. They were probably planning to threaten Earth into compliance. "Alert all defense stations," Chris ordered. "Activate the new weapon systems. If they want to fight, they will learn why humans were so good at protecting the galaxy." Meanwhile, rescue ships brought news of alien civilizations collapsing faster than anyone had expected. The Grex Confederacy had dissolved into civil war. The Silicon hegemony faced revolution as hungry populations turned against their leaders. Even the mighty Zephyrian Empire was breaking apart as member worlds declared independence. Jake Morrison watched the reports from his office at the Department of Interstellar Affairs. Part of him felt sorry for the aliens who were suffering, but a larger part remembered 50 years of being treated like servants. "Sir, we have another delegation request," his aide announced. "The Galactic Council wants to send representatives to negotiate." Jake thought about it for a moment. Then he smiled. "Tell them we are busy. Maybe next year." The galaxy was learning what it meant to live without human protection, human expertise, and human problem-solving. The lesson was painful, but necessary. Humanity would return to galactic affairs eventually, but next time they would return as equals. Nina Rodriguez sat in the diplomatic monitoring station, listening to desperate messages from across the galaxy. 2 years had passed since humanity left galactic affairs. What she heard made her shake her head in disbelief. The first message came from the hegemony of Trill. Their voice was barely a whisper through the communication system. "Earth Command, this is Trill High Council. Our people are starving. Half our worlds have no power. We offer anything, everything. Please help us." Nina marked the message in her log. It was the 15th plea from the Trill this month, each one more desperate than the last. The second message was from the Zephyrian Empire. Their proud trade federation had become a collection of isolated worlds fighting over scraps. "Human leaders, we were wrong. We admit our mistakes. We need your guidance. Name your price." Nina almost laughed. 2 years ago, the Zephyrians had called humans too stupid for complex trade negotiations. Now they begged for human economic advisors. Frank Martinez piloted his stealth ship through what used to be Vorthan space. The ancient collective had been reduced to one dying world. Their beautiful crystal cities were dark ruins. Their amazing technology lay broken and forgotten. "Captain, we are receiving a weak signal from the surface," his communications officer reported. Frank listened to the transmission. It was a Vorthan elder speaking in broken human language. "Please, humans, we know you are watching. Our children are dying, our knowledge is lost. We will give you anything. Our technology, our worlds, our lives. Just save what is left of us." Frank felt a cold satisfaction. The Vorthans had once claimed humans were too primitive to understand their advanced science. Now they offered to become human servants just to survive. Paula Scott analyzed the latest intelligence reports at Earth Strategic Command. The numbers told a story of complete galactic collapse. In 2 years, interstellar trade had dropped by 90%. Industrial production was down to pre-spaceflight levels on most worlds. Billions of aliens had died from starvation, disease, and war. "The crystalline molten war has spread to 12 systems," she reported to the Strategic Council. "Refugee, ships are fleeing in all directions, but there is nowhere safe to go. The ancient hatred between crystal and fire had consumed entire sectors. Whole civilizations caught between them had been wiped out. Billions more lived as refugees with no hope of returning home." "What about the pirate situation?" asked General Turner. Paula pulled up another report. Complete chaos. The Outer Rim is controlled by criminal gangs. They have captured over 3,000 merchant ships and enslaved millions of aliens. Some pirate fleets are larger than most government navies. The galaxy had become a nightmare of violence and suffering, all because they had taken human protection for granted. Captain Roy Mitchell led a reconnaissance mission to observe the former Galactic Council headquarters. The massive station that had once housed thousands of alien diplomats was now nearly empty. Only a few dozen aliens remained, sending desperate messages into space. "Sir, we are being hailed by the station," his communications officer announced. On the screen appeared Krixtal, the Zephyrian who had dismissed human concerns 2 years ago. The proud alien leader looked broken. His purple skin had turned gray. His many eyes were dim with exhaustion. "Please, humans, I know you can hear me. I am sorry. We were wrong about everything. Come back. The galaxy is dying without you." Roy stared at the alien who had once called humans useful servants. Now Krixtal looked like he had not slept in months. "Record the message," Roy told his crew, "but do not respond." Steve Collins monitored alien military communications from his hidden ship. What he discovered was both sad and frightening. Some alien governments were planning military action against Earth. The Molten Empire, desperate to end their losing war against the Crystallines, wanted to capture human military advisors. They believed human tactical knowledge could win the war for them. The Silicon hegemony, facing revolution from their starving people, planned to attack human colonies and force Earth to restore their industrial systems. Even the peaceful Grecs were considering violence. Their entire civilization was collapsing, and they blamed humans for abandoning them. "Captain, should we warn Earth Command?" his communications officer asked. Steve smiled grimly. "Earth Command already knows. Let them come. They will learn why humans were so good at fighting wars." Chris Baker prepared Earth's defenses for the coming attacks. Humanity had not been idle during their 2 years of isolation. Human engineers had developed new weapons, new ships, and new defense systems. "Admiral, our scout ships report alien fleets moving toward human space," his aide announced. Chris looked at the tactical display. 6 different alien fleets were approaching from different directions. In total, over 2,000 alien warships were coming to force humanity back into galactic service. "Activate all defense grids," Chris ordered. "Deploy the new battle fleets. It is time to show the galaxy what humans can do when we are not holding back." The aliens thought they could threaten humanity into submission. They forgot that humans had been protecting the galaxy for 50 years. They had learned every alien military secret, studied every alien weakness, and understood every alien battle tactic. Now they would use that knowledge to defend themselves. Linda Williams addressed the human colonies via quantum communication. Her message was broadcast to every human ship, station, and settlement in the galaxy. "My fellow humans, the aliens are coming to force us back into servitude. They learned nothing from our departure. They still see us as servants instead of equals. Today we show them the truth. Today we show them what humans can do when we fight for ourselves instead of for ungrateful masters." Emma Brooks coordinated the defense from Luna Command. Her screens showed human ships moving into position around Earth, Mars, and the outer colonies. For the first time in 50 years, humanity was united in fighting for their own freedom instead of protecting alien interests. "All human fleets report ready," she announced. "The aliens are about to learn why they needed our protection so badly." Jake Morrison watched the approaching alien fleets from his office window. In a few hours, the first battle would begin. He felt no fear, only determination. The galaxy had rejected humanity as equals. Now they came as conquerors. But they would find that humans were much more dangerous as enemies than they had ever been as servants. The aliens wanted their protectors back. Instead, they would face their worst nightmare. They would face humanity unleashed. Jake Morrison stood on the observation deck of the space station orbiting Neptune. Through the thick glass, he could see the alien fleet waiting in the distance. 2,000 ships from 6 different races floated in space like angry metal clouds. 3 years had passed since humanity left the Galactic Council. Now the aliens had come to force them back. But they had not come as conquerors. They had come as beggars. The alien attack fleet had arrived 2 weeks ago, ready for war. Then they saw what humanity had built during their isolation. Earth's defense grid was unlike anything in the galaxy. New human warships patrolled the solar system with weapons that made alien technology look like toys. The first alien ship that fired a warning shot had simply vanished. Not destroyed, not damaged. It had been disintegrated by a human weapon that turned matter into energy in the blink of an eye. The alien fleet stopped attacking very quickly after that. Now they waited, and they asked to talk. "Sir, the alien delegation is ready to meet," announced Lisa Hayes. She had been promoted to Admiral of Earth's Space Forces. Her uniform carried new medals earned in the short battle that ended the alien threat. Jake nodded. "Send them in." The delegation entered the meeting room slowly. At the front walked Krixtal, the Zephyrian who had once dismissed human concerns. The proud alien leader looked old and broken. His purple skin was pale. His many eyes were red from exhaustion. Behind him came representatives from every major alien civilization. The mighty Vorthon collective was represented by a single elder, in ragged robes. The once powerful hegemony of Trill sent a junior diplomat because their leaders were too busy fighting starvation riots. "Thank you for agreeing to meet with us," Krixtal said. His voice was quiet and humble. Jake sat across from them at a simple metal table. No fancy decorations, no ceremonial nonsense. Just two groups talking like equals, or trying to. "You came here with warships," Jake said. "You tried to force us back into your service. Why should we listen to you now?" Krixtal looked down at his tentacles. "We were desperate. Our worlds are dying. Our people are suffering. We hoped you might respond to strength." "You hoped wrong," Admiral Hayes said from behind Jake. "You learned what human strength really looks like." The Vorthon elder spoke next. His voice was barely a whisper. "We understand now. We always knew humans were strong fighters. We did not know you were strong builders too." Karen Lewis, the new Secretary of Defense, stepped forward. "You never bothered to learn. You saw what you wanted to see, useful servants, convenient soldiers. You never saw us as equals." A Trill delegate began crying. The sound was strange, coming from an alien throat. "Please, our children are starving. Half our worlds are dark. We will give you anything." Jake felt a moment of pity. Then he remembered 50 years of being treated like hired help. "What will you give us?" he asked. The aliens looked at each other. Finally, Krixtal spoke. "Full membership in the Galactic Council. Equal voting rights. Equal representation. Complete autonomy over human space and trade routes." "Not enough," Jake said. The aliens whispered among themselves in panic. What more could they offer? A Silicon hegemony representative spoke up. "We offer reparations, payment for the years of service we took for granted. Still not enough." The crystalline delegate, her glass body flickering with nervous light, asked, "What do you want? Tell us. Anything." Jake stood up and walked to the window. Below them, the galaxy burned. Wars raged across hundreds of systems. Billions suffered in darkness and hunger. Entire civilizations had collapsed. "I want what we always wanted," Jake said. "Respect." He turned back to face the aliens. Not fear, not desperation, not gratitude. Respect. Recognition that humanity is not your servant race. We are your equals. We always were. Krixtal raised his head. For the first time in years, he looked directly at Jake. "You have it. You have proven your worth beyond any doubt. We see now what we were too blind to see before." "Words are easy," Admiral Hayes said. "Prove it." The Vorthon elder reached into his robes and pulled out a crystal device. "This contains the complete technological archives of our civilization. Our greatest treasures, we offer them freely to humanity." Other aliens began producing similar offerings. Data crystals, trade agreements, territory maps. They were giving humanity everything they had once hoarded for themselves. Jake looked at the offerings spread across the table. Months ago, he would have been amazed. The combined knowledge and resources of 6 major civilizations lay before him. Now it just looked like what it was: desperate bribes from desperate aliens. "Keep your treasures," Jake said. "We do not want to rule you. We do not want to own you. We want to work with you. As partners. As equals." Hope flickered in alien eyes for the first time in years. "The galaxy is broken," Jake continued. "Wars rage everywhere. Pirates control entire sectors. Billions suffer in poverty and darkness. It will take decades to rebuild." He sat back down at the table. "Humanity will help with that rebuilding. But this time, we do it as equal partners. No more servitude. No more dismissal. No more being treated like convenient servants." Roy Mitchell, now commanding the reconstruction fleet, stepped forward. "We have conditions. Human space remains under human control. Human colonies govern themselves. Human trade routes stay open to all races but under human management." The aliens nodded eagerly. They would have agreed to anything. "Most importantly," Jake added, "this partnership is between equals. Any race that cannot accept that can rebuild. Alone." Krixtal extended a tentacle across the table. "We accept, all of it, as equals." Jake shook the alien appendage. It felt strange after so many years of conflict. "Then let us begin," Jake said. "The galaxy needs healing, and despite everything, humans are good at healing." Over the following months, human ships returned to galactic space, but not as servants, as partners. They helped rebuild shattered worlds, restored broken trade routes, and ended wars that had raged for years. The reconstruction would take decades. Trust would take even longer to rebuild. But for the first time in galactic history, humans worked as equals instead of servants. The galaxy had learned its lesson the hard way. Humanity was not just useful, they were essential, and they would never be taken for granted again. In space stations across the galaxy, new treaties were signed. New partnerships were formed. New respect was earned. The age of human servitude was over. The age of human partnership had begun,